Hey folks, this is Matt once again, coming at you with Lethal Weapon 2, which I didn't see this version, the director's cut version, which has only about 4 more minutes or so in, and I saw the theatrical cut, which is on this Blu-ray, that once again First Power 100 sent me. I want to thank him once again. It was very kind of him to do so. Here. But Lethal Weapon 2 came out about 2 years after the first film, home video sales film. It was a hit in the theaters, but especially the home video sales said, okay, we definitely gotta do a sequel to Lethal Weapon. And so Lethal Weapon 2 is pretty much Riggs and Murtaugh going up against these South African guys who have diplomatic immunity, and they're bringing in money, Krugerrands. If I say that right, Krugerrands. And what's weird about this film is, I'll be honest, I enjoy the first one the most. But then I'm one of those few people that I like part 3 more than part 2. And I think they're all better than part 4, but I like part 2. I think part 2 is still a very solid film, very worthy sequel. I still really like part 2. But for me, I was always more of a fan of the first one and part 3 than part 2. Even though I like all 3 films. I know it sounds weird. But this has a lot of great things going on for it. Although it was kind of weird at the beginning of the film. Maybe this is why. It's one of those films where at the very first time the movie pops up, you have like this Looney Tunes music. When the credits roll, it's like and then the title comes up and you have Riggs. Woo! It was weird. Like, what's up with the Looney Tunes? Like like a cartoon. Again, when you first see the film, the logo, Warner Bros. Logo pops up. It's just, the one problem I have with this film is the tone is a little bit inconsistent to me. Because it starts with that, but then it ends very, very dark. You say almost the darkest of all the films, because Mel Gibson finds out that his wife was killed by one of these guys, and then his new girlfriend, played by Patsy Kensit, is killed by this same guy. And, you know, they kidnap Joe Pesci's character and torture him a little bit, and then Riz seems like he's going to die, and so it was just kind of a weird little thing. It's just a little nitpick thing, but this has a lot of stuff going for it. I mean, it starts out right at the beginning, in the middle of an action scene, this chase scene, which is a lot of fun. It's cool being right in the middle. It's like it starts off, boom, really quick light, and Mel Gibson's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And Danny Glover's like looking, I'm like, what the fuck, Riggs? And they're chasing these bad guys, and they have Danny Glover's, or Murtaugh's, his wife's new car. And just to the point where Riggs is chasing him on foot. And he's like, scoot over, let me drive. And so Riggs is driving his partner's wife's new car. He's like, you're not going to make it. No, you're not going to make it. Strat fucks up like the entire side of Murtaugh's car. Riggs is smiling like, yeah, man, you're right. Yeah, there wasn't enough room. I thought that was really funny. And it goes on with the action scene. Really well done chase sequence. I mean, right off the bat in the film. And then you just get a lot of memorable sequences. You have the scene where he's in the straitjacket, and Riggs is, and they think, oh no, he's not going to make it. He's not going to get out of it. And he does, because he can dislocate his shoulder anytime he wants. Which I know that got parodied and a few stuff like National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1. A lot of stuff they parody in that film is from this film, Lethal Weapon 2. You have the funny bit where you see that Murtaugh's house, his garage is going to be a hobby room. There's this guy who has a nail gun, and Riggs and Murtaugh thinks it's a gun. Like, oh man, we're sorry, man, that wasn't cool. And the guy with the nail gun is like, you're sorry? Check my shorts, for Christ's sake. And one thing leads to another, and then Riggs tells the other cops that Murtaugh's daughter has a commercial, and you find out the commercial is for fucking condoms. And Murtaugh's like, man, I don't have rubbers in my drawers, rubbers. If you just keep your mouth shut. Well, you know, Raj, you know what they say, in one ear, out the rubber. So, what I'm getting at is the chemistry between these two guys are still there, still wonderful back and forth between these two. They really do a good job. Danny Glover and Mel Gibson, they still play these characters very wonderfully. And the bad guys, again, the South African guys, these, I know Mel Gibson calls one of them Adolf. These guys who think like they're the supreme white race or whatever. And the whole deal is that they have these sort of gold coins called Krugerrands coming into the country. And Murtaugh and his family are warned. Like some guys come in Steve Mass and threaten them and says, you know, you better leave us alone and such. And after that, their captain puts Riz and Murtaugh to protect this person. This person that's in protective custody called Leo Getz. Whatever you need, Leo Getz. You get it? Okay? Okay. And Joe Pesci, this is the introduction of Leo Getz. Very fun character. I really enjoy this character in all the films. I think Joe Pesci does a really great job with this character. Always saying, okay. They fucked you at the drive-you. They fucked you at the drive-you. You get halfway home, and then you realize you've been fucked. They fucked you. And he's just a lot of fun, and Riggs and Murtaugh just, you know, picking on him relentlessly. And some guy goes into a room and has a gun, and Riggs grabs a guy, and yeah, that scene where him, Leo Getz, and the guy go out the window into the pool down below. And this is what I'm talking about, where they pick on him, where Riggs is punching this guy, and he thinks it's a guy, but he finds out it's actually Joe Pesci underneath. He's like, can I please get some cotton for my nose? And Riggs is like, can you please shut the fuck up? I thought that was really funny. And just the fact they pick on him, like, his nose is broken, they just yanked his nose and stuff. And they try to get Leo to tell him some information. Leo tells him some information on some bad guys. And then you have the scene that you see in the trailer where Riggs is trying to talk to Murtaugh. It's like, we're back, we're back, we're bad. You're black, I'm mad. You know. And it's hard to do a review like this because it's like what I find funny. I'm trying to retell the jokes, and then I'm doing a piss poor job of it. This is why these guys get paid for acting. But you have the pretty decent. It's a decent chase scene where they're chasing one of the bad guys, and Riggs is on the back of this tow truck, and it ends with a fucking surfboard going right into the guy, the bad guy, through the windshield. And then you find out that the bad guys, they have diplomatic immunity, so they can't really touch them. They, as the bad guy says, couldn't even give me a parking ticket. And the main bad guy is played by, I think the actor's name is Joss Ackland. Yeah, Joss Ackland. He was a bad guy also in Nowhere to Run with Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's been in a few other films. And some stuff happens as we get that fun scene where Joe Pesci gets the wrong sandwich, and they're leaving the drive-thru, and Joe Pesci says, hey, can we go back? See, they fucked you in the drive. This is why you gotta go to the counter. They know you don't be halfway home and find out you've been fucked. I don't give a shit. I'm not eating this fucking sandwich. And they're like, shut up. I thought that was really... Again, I thought Joe Pesci definitely had an energy to him, and I really liked his character, Leo Getz. He has definitely energy. He was like, okay. And then, of course, I gotta mention the most famous scene in this movie is the toilet scene. And it's the scene where you find out that they planted a bomb in Danny Glover Murtaugh's toilet, and Mel Gibson hasn't heard from the guy, so he goes to his house and finds him on the toilet, and basically everybody is now there, and they're trying to figure out get him out, and they do something so that they'll get like a second or so before it explodes, and they don't jump in this toilet, and that's where you get the famous, 1, 2, 3. Do we say 3 and then go, or do we go on 3? Okay, we're gonna go 1, 2, and then 3. And they have a good little emotional moment as well, where Danny Glover doesn't know what to say, and Mel Gibson says, "You're not gonna fucking die here." And it really shows the friendship between these characters. Really shows that they really care for each other. And again, it's the most memorable scene in the movie. A bomb in the toilet. I mean, I guess how could it not be that famous? But it's definitely the scene people remember the most when they think about Lethal Weapon 2. And again, I saw the theatrical cut, but I wanted to show this just, seems better. And then that's when Mel Gibson's like fucking with these guys, and he's following Joss Hadlin, and he's able to sneak in. He does like eeny, meeny, miny. Hey Mo! Shoots the fish, fucks up the fish. It's like big smile, big smile. And then also another funny moment, the way he got in is that Danny Glover and Joe Pesci had to be a distraction, and Joe Pesci like talking to this sort of receptionist type of guy, saying, "Well, I know you do immigration, but I have a guy here, but I don't want him to go because he's really busy." And Danny Glover comes out, and all the guy can say is, "You don't want to go." And Danny Glover's like, "Why?" "Because you're black." He's like, "Yeah, of course I'm black. I want to go down and help my oppressed people." And then Joe Pesci's pretty much repeating everything he says. So Danny says, "One man, one vote." And Joe Pesci says, "One man, one vote. Free South Africa, you dumb son of a bitch. You dumb son of a bitch." I thought it was really funny that Joe Pesci repeated that bit of line. I just thought it was really another fun sequence. Then you have Patsy Kensit, who is a very beautiful lady. And I don't really know what she's doing right now, Patsy Kensit. Where is Patsy Kensit? I should have looked this up before I did this, but I'm trying to remember now. Where is Patsy Kensit? Because she did a really great job with this role, and she's a secretary working for the bad guys, and she's 44 years old. I don't know why they couldn't get her for the special features. I think that was really a shame. Very beautiful lady, did a really good job with the role. Falls in love with Mel Gibson. That's you get the love scene in the trailer, Mel Gibson's Ridge trailer. But this is what, again, the sort of shift in tone that I was talking about is now all of a sudden all their cop buddies are getting killed, including Jeanette Goldstein, Vasquez herself from Aliens. She gets killed. She's on this diving board. She gets blown up. Another guy gets shot. So all their cop buddies are getting killed. And then Joe Pesci gets kidnapped in order to get beaten up. Someone tries to kill Murtaugh, even though he gets a badass scene where he fucks 2 bad guys up with a nail gun. Then this something that's like this is really pulling out of your ass, that this same guy who you guys are dealing with, not Joss Whedon, the main guy, but like the second in command, the guy that Mel Gibson calls Adolf. This is the same guy that killed Ridge's wife. Like, in the first film, we just heard that she was in a car accident. So this same person is the same person that killed Ridge's wife? And then ultimately kills Patsy Kensit's character, because Ridge finds her, one leaves another finds her dead. So, okay, not only, of course, these are bad guys you're looking for, and just killed Patsy Kensit, your new girlfriend, but this guy also killed your wife? I just thought that was a big coincidence, and I'm like, really? That's kind of a hard pill to swallow. Man, I'm gonna let it go, but I'm like, really? Like, the same guy who killed your new girlfriend, same guy who years ago killed your wife? I thought that was a really big coincidence. Like, okay, really. But still, you get really big action scenes. Like, there's this big giant house on stilts, and Ridge pulls it down with his truck. Then you have this action scene where they're in this thing. They drive a car over all the money flies down, floats down. Of course, that famous scene where Murtaugh, the asshole, Joss like diplomatic immunity. Murtaugh does the thing. Just been revoked. And then Mel Gibson gets in a fight with the asshole. Not much of a fight, really. Just stabs him, walks over, hits a thing, and guy falls down. Shit, I'm going to have to go in 2 parts. Damn it.